There's so much to love about this play. It is playful and imaginative and heartfelt, and it's rooted in family, and no matter what becomes between you and your family, you can always find a way back to each other. So we're having a really fun time finding the good balance of the humor and the heart. So I'm the oldest of four. I have a brother 4 years younger than me, 4 years younger than him, and then 16 years younger than I have a little sister. I really want to show like the sisterly bond. So my sister's 8. She is coming into our rehearsal Thursday evening to give notes to my actors. And we can thank her for much of my set because she's very willing. She's been at each Live 10 show. She's gonna be there again on Saturday. She's been a big help. As I'm going through this, because she's so young, I'm trying to think of everything through her eyes. So first off, for each playwright, I've emailed them, and then pretty much right after, added them on Facebook. And then we've texted and we've phone called and FaceTimed, pretty much everything that we can without being in the same room. It's just so helpful and refreshing to be able to have the playwright an email away. At the root of it, it's really collaborative. I mean, the whole thing is so unique and it's so quick, it's so fast-paced. I feel like I've learned so much overall just about especially like the time management and where my focuses need to be, and like how doing what gets me the best effect, both in the rehearsal room, with the tech elements, with promoting via social media. I feel like I've tried to get better every time, and getting people in to see the show. I've learned, don't get attached to an idea. Yeah, really kind of just being prepared for everything and just keep going. Sleep when you're dead. Be willing to roll with it because everything changes. It's been fun and it's been challenging and tiring. I'm really glad we've had like that break week. But it's just been so fulfilling.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight and for sharing this experience with us over the last several weeks. I'm very proud to produce Queens of the Realm by Ian August.
400 years ago, the world was plunged into chaos. The seas boiled, the mountains churned, the valleys wept, and the survivors ran and hid in caves and shelters and the boots of SUVs and occasionally hollowed out refrigerators. And when they emerged, civilization was gone. The earth, a slate wiped clean, and from the ashes arose a new civilization, one destined to survive through hundreds of years of darkness. And upon the corpses of thousands of people who obviously didn't think to empty out their refrigerators was the brave and powerful queen, Queen Becky the Triumphant.
How grim was the state of the world that it should be ruled by the heartless despot who enslaved her own people that fateful day. And so, an underground rebellion was born, and the struggle for the earth began anew. And they stood against the cruel, soulless, self-appointed leader of the survivors and named their own queen to lord over them in kindness and mercy and have ice cream Tuesdays. And her name was Queen Molly the Magnificent.
But Queen Molly wasn't that magnificent, and she stole the ice cream from the rebels she attempted to lead. and they fled to the safety and security of the survivors living under the leadership of Queen Becky the Triumphant, also known as Queen Becky the Brave.
Until they realized that Queen Molly was simply keeping the ice cream cold for them, as they had no freezers following the apocalypse. And Queen Becky wanted them to tell her she was pretty and paint her nails pink with little stars on them.
This was false, and the people knew it to be so.
No, they didn't.
Did too.
Did not.
Did too. So there. It was then that Queen Becky the Brave, also known as Queen Becky the Beautiful, Queen Becky the Just,
Queen Becky the just awful,
revealed of her deep cavern hundreds of miles underground behind the abandoned Barnes and Noble was a great and ancient tomb. Queen Becky the Just discovered it after dinner, and she opened it because she was also quite brave. And within the tomb, she discovered a relic whose power was unknown to all but she, and from within the tomb, she withdrew the magic staff of wonderment.
Hey!
And with this staff, Queen Becky the Brave, also known as Queen Becky the Courageous, had power over all men and beasts.
Except, of course, for Queen Molly the Magnificent, who is now also known as Queen Molly the Awesome, and her loyal band of rebel followers.
Who were dirty and smelled of pee.
Queen Becky smelled of pee. The history books prove such things to be true. But Queen Molly the Awesome,
Awesome.
she knew that the magic staff of wonderment had been stolen from the ancient tomb of her ancestors, and so was rightfully hers. And she floated into the kingdom on a cloud of magic clouds and set herself before the evil Queen Becky the Nasty. Return the magic staff of wonderment to me, she demanded, and all shall be right with the world.
But Queen Becky the Courageous, for that was another name by which she was known, knew that Queen Molly never really liked the magic staff of wonderment, and she would often leave it outside in the backyard when she was supposed to have brought it in, and she laughed in Queen Molly's puckered face.
Outraged at the disrespect shown her, Queen Molly the Magical demanded once more for the magic staff of wonderment to be returned to her immediately.
Queen Becky once again refused and reminded Queen Molly that she and her loyal band of followers smelled of pee. And thus, Queen Becky remained victorious over her detractors, and the people cheered. And a parade was held in her honor, and she was taken to Attilio's, where she was awarded the biggest pepperoni pizza that could be bestowed upon her, and soda, which she was permitted to drink from the can. And all was right in the land.
But Queen Molly, the more clever than Queen Becky, had also explored the ruins of the world that ended that 400 years ago, and with her enchanted powers of observation, discovered a more powerful relic beneath the rubble. Buried beneath the charred corpses and broken bones and shredded Disney princess dresses was a prize more valuable than gold, more beautiful than jewels, and more powerful than the magic staff of wonderment. The sacred torch of specialness.
Ah! Give that back!
This sacred object was the key to peace across the land and of removing the evil Queen Becky the Flatulent from her throne.
That's mine.
But Queen Molly could not hear her, for the voice of mean people could not reach her lovely ears.
That's my flashlight.
And Queen Molly cradled the sacred torch, and she battled monsters and demons and creatures of the night. And the people of the realm decided that they loved her even more.
You jerk.
And they also decided that Queen Molly was in fact rubber, and Queen Becky was in fact glue. And whatever she said bounces off of me and sticks to her.
It was a birthday present, Molly. Give it back.
Then give me back my umbrella.
It's the magic staff of wonderment.
And it has my name written on the handle in magic staff of wonderment marker.
Fine. Give me back my torch and I'll give you back your umbrella.
You promise?
I swear.
You double swear?
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Okay. On 3.
1, 2, 3.
2,
And so, the brilliant Queen Becky the Brilliant was victorious once again.
That's not fair!
And having acquired the 2 most magical relics in the realm, Queen Becky the Super Smart would rule over the realm unopposed.
Give it back!
forever, not until the rebellion is quashed! Ow!
You deserved it.
Oh! Having been violently assaulted by Queen Molly, who smells of pee, and also garbage trucks, Queen Becky had no choice but to declare war on the stinky rebels.
Oh, yeah? Well, Queen Molly says that's just great.
Queen Becky calls upon her vicious army to come to her defense.
To arms, my rebel fighters! To arms!
My noble soldiers of the future, today we are faced with the challenge of the dreaded attack of the skunk-faced rebels!
My rebel warriors, let me be clear. War is an ugly thing, very much like Queen Becky the dumb butt.
The day will be hard. I dare say some of you may lose your stuffing.
Just know that my heart and spirit shall be with you, and we will battle this battle together!
But we have the will of justice on our side, and she only has stinky socks!
The evil Queen Becky the Evil doesn't remember that she wet the bed last week, and so she is the terrible one.
How dare you!
I dare me just fine. How dare you?
Attack!
Ah!
Truce.
Truce.
And so, Queen Becky the Benevolent decided that peace within the land should be the rule of the day.
And Queen Molly agreed.
And Queen Becky decided that maybe she shouldn't have taken for her own the magic staff of wonderment.
And Queen Molly decided that perhaps Queen Becky wasn't the worst big sister in the world, even though she did wet the bed last week. Sorry.
And Queen Becky decided that everyone in the realm should be friends, and suggested that the queens celebrate their newfound peace in the kitchen with Go-Gurts and some juice.
Ooh, Queen Molly the Hungry thinks that would be nice.
Can we have tacos